Welcome one, welcome all to the end. The toll of the final bell bounces off the pines on an afternoon in Portland, where today's contest is presented by Visit Maine, and where the fixture is absolute. Portland Hearts of Pine and AV Alta compelled and in each other's way. This is the USL League One's decision day. This is what you've waited for. Howdy, folks. With the coach, Eric Dobransky, I am Peyton Gallagher, and the tale is quite clear in the table. AV Alta must secure victory and get some help elsewhere to get above the playoff line and continue their season for Portland, still with hopes of having one more last dance here at Fitzpatrick Stadium if they are able to secure victory and have results fall their way as well. And it's for good reason that they would want to have another game in this venue in 2025. The record attendance last time out on Tuesday propelled them to 6 goals against Spokane Velocity. They will lean on those fans here again today, Eric.
And Peyton, this is what happens when you generate this kind of synergy between a team and a community. It is a raucous environment, and it creates home field tilt. It makes it incredibly difficult for opponents to come in and play within their identity and principles. And this is a group that has been electric in their performances here at home, scoring 26 of their 46 goals here, and a group that has only been shut out twice in 14 matches.
Big part of that has been Ollie Wright stirring the drink, burning so much of the creative responsibility. He is the high roller Lobster Company man to watch.
If there is a goal to be scored, there's almost a 100% probability that Ollie Wright is involved. His awareness on and how and when to get on the ball, complemented with his decision-making, make him a force in the attacking half of the field.
14 of his 20 goal contributions, all competitions, have come in front of these people, but he didn't have one the last time these two teams got together. AV Alta able to win here in Portland. They have to win today to keep going in 2025.
And it's a season for AV Alta that has been met with foundational growth, but as a team with a clear identity and one that is looking to be ball dominant, finding that consistency in performance is going to be key, and turning those performances into sustained results. But all said, it's a team that has all in front of them.
Eduardo Blancas has been one of the most lethal men in the league, both providing and scoring. He is the man on the marquee for AV Alta.
He has box-to-box presence, tremendous ground coverage, makes himself available in possession, finding pockets to operate in and out of, and on the ball, he is clever, deceptive. Then defensively, the ability to screen and disrupt in key moments.
They will all wear the weight of the moment on their shoulders today. It is decision day, the day of reckoning for both AV Alta and Portland Hearts of Pine. Everything to be revealed on the other end of a break. Folks, don't you go anywhere. Up next, Portland Hearts of Pine and AV Alta.
Hey.
Hey.
Allagash White for you. Can I get you a beer?
Yeah.
Let me give you a minute. What you thinking? Choose one.
I'll go for Allagash White, too.
Nice. That's my go-to.
Start your night with Allagash White.
Tonight's broadcast is presented by Visit Maine. Lineups presented by NBT Bank. For Bobby Murphy, the main attraction here. Natty James back in the team today after a brace against Spokane.
Yeah, looking to build off of his explosive performance on Tuesday, those two thunderous goals, and then a defensive collective led by Hunter Morse. His communication is essential to a team that does so well, condensing space between the lines, engaging the press, and then also watch the involvement of Nathan Messer.
For the Alta here in this one, that front line will offer plenty of rotation. That's really true throughout the team.
Yeah, no, Osvaldo Lay is going to be instrumental in midfield to helping this team maintain their structure, being that deep-lying playmaker, but also more importantly, being the one that helps halt transitional moments in that front line of Alexis Cerritos being dangerous up front.
And so, on to the live pictures. They set an attendance record on Tuesday. A huge crowd on hand again today. Alta must win to stay alive. Portland, they want to play in front of these people again. Have to win now. The pulse of the Hearts. Alta make direct eye contact, staring in the face of the beast with their season on the line here in Portland. They must win. Portland must win. All to play for here today in the state of Maine. It is set to be a barn burner of a game and atmosphere. Once more, with Eric Dobransky, I am Peyton Gallagher. It's really just chills throughout the build-up to this game and the atmosphere that's unfolding already. Alta will be emboldened and lifted by the confidence gained, having been one of only two teams this year, Eric, to step into this venue and come away with all 3 points. It'll be interesting to check their confidence throughout the course of the early going.
I think a lot of that is going to be leaning into the start of this match for AV Alta. Can you set the temperature and maintain that temperature with the way that you want to play?
Tonight's keys to the game are presented by Pape Chevrolet. Eric, so crucial for Portland to be good in the box. That was the main thing for Bobby Murphy.
Yeah, make plays defensively and then be ruthless when you create those moments, so scoring moments in front of the goal. And for AV Alta, control defensive transition. With the expansive style of play, with as big as they want to play, you do leave yourself susceptible to having spaces available. So can you minimize those threats, be really good in that first defensive moment?
It is a Toms of Maine corner kick coming for Portland. Masashi Wada putting his foot straight on the gas pedal, back in the game today after not starting last time out in the midweek. Natty James over the ball. Ball in, near post, dug away, and flashed off the end line. Left up for keeps, pressing in hard is Michel Poon-Andron, and stabbed out of touch by Eric Gonzalez. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Maine Health, and somewhat of a rarity, but both these teams pretty patched up and ready to go.
Yeah, rarity, unfortunately, across the league and across many leagues, but this is exactly where you want to be if you're these two teams. Full availability. You see a conversation, the center official.
That is Alexandra Billiter, who will marshal the contest today. It will be gritty and gripping throughout the course. You would have to imagine with all that's on the line here, both teams will lay it exactly in that place on the line.
Well, you got to believe that you look at the keys, you look at how your identity and your principles will play within this match, but you also have to control second and third opportunities. You have to put yourself in a position where you're challenging that first ball or that first action, but you're also positionally aware and in areas where you can pick up and dictate that second and third phase, because if you can't do that, then you can't necessarily find any sustainable threat. So something for AV Alta, especially being in a hostile environment, can they set the tone early in those actions and possibly pin Portland Hearts of Pine back a bit? Obviously, this is a team that is high pressing, so you're not going to necessarily pin them back. But if you can start winning some of the territory early, can you influence some of that engagement?
That being said, Brian Claben through all of what the opponent will offer today. Convicted and confident in the way of play. AV Alta setting the all-time mark this year for possession average with 420 passes. They can set the all-time mark for League One for passes in a single season. His first year managing at the senior professional level. Brian Claben trying to institute some of those foundational principles, but right now being undone by the pressure of Portland. Masashi Wada on his chest. Working wide for Natty James. Titus Washington in the area. James scrambling and well dealt with by Eric Gonzalez defensively. Alta will invite the pressure immediately and try and work their way out from their own end, and foul is given. Brian Claben, he is certainly strong in his beliefs. His counterpart, Bobby Murphy, very similar in that way. It's the confidence, the way they carry themselves that almost mirrors one another, the two managers, but very different in how they see the game.
And he's been pleased with his team's resolve, resilience. Obviously had a bit of a dip and run of form before those last two matches, and then just absolutely exploded on Tuesday night. 6-1 win. And that was a game that was 2-1 at one point. 4 goals unanswered.
Cerritos picking up the ball. He's been able to find the back of the net in each of the last 3, but he loses out here. Portland for the first time today trying to test that transitional defending. Brian Claben up and bouncing as the throw-in will be taken right in front of him, coming from the youth developmental ranks and taking over this program. Certainly a true believer in that Barcelona style.
And when you have that on-the-ball identity and those principles, those standards, non-negotiables, it's about building your off-the-ball standards and what it looks like when you do get dispossessed, when you're in this expansive state where you're end line to end line, touch line to touch line. I mean, you're using every available inch of the field. You have to find areas where you're more combative. You go blow up plays when you need to go blow them up and turn these attacks into productive and efficient, because you put yourself in numerical challenges defensively, but then you get spells like this.
Blocked on the way in. Tidied up by Kamali Green, another player that was not in the squad on Tuesday, presumably with fresh legs. Portland absorbing some pressure. First real attacking moments for Alta. Omish on a run, undercut, free kick coming. Alta are deadly from these areas.
And you see it in these last 2 possessions from AV Alta, the commitment to getting numbers and flooding the box, as we see Omish continuing to take this ball along the end line. And this is another area for teams that like to be on the ball. The individual creativity and explosiveness that you can display when space is limited. And that is a tremendous job of going at defenders. And to the point you just made, this is a team that is so good on dead ball restarts and direct free kicks.
Is Eduardo Blancas, who this year with 4 direct free kick goals has set the high water mark in the history of the league. Fortune favors the bold. In moments like this, would he be so brave to try and test the target in the goal of Hunter Morse? Blancas in. Morse can't stop it. Mind-bending from Eduardo Blancas. AV Alta out in front.
And this free kick starts with the individual effort that earns the foul. You earn the opportunity to take this direct free kick. And Blancas absolutely scorches this into the upper corner. Lifts it over the wall and has all the pace and the detail you need to beat a class goalkeeper like Hunter Morse. What a start for AV Alta.
Exquisite, essential, as sweet as it is significant for Eduardo Blancas. AV Alta clinging to life, having to win today. They start decision day with a loud and mighty pop. Portland's put to the back foot. immediately. It was such a good showing against Spokane, but never really a test of adversity in that game.
Well, I was talking about that defensive structure when you lose possession and you're in that moment of owning roles defensively. This is a team, to your point earlier, that have already come to Fitzpatrick Stadium and have earned a 2-0 result. So they have come here on the road, scored goals, but not only that, have kept a clean sheet. And that's something where you already score early now, and then you have the belief that defensively you can do the job, as we see this team when scoring first.
Portland have been a team that have almost never sacrificed the lead when they've gotten it. Just so essential, so crucial that AV Alta were the one to throw the first blow here in this one. Takes all the wind out of the building. Not a record crowd today, but still well over 6,000 in attendance here in Fitzpatrick on this consequential Saturday in the state of Maine.
Oh, for AV Alta, it's the start you want, but you know that the job is not done. You know that this is not going to be enough to carry you through this full match. With the environment that this is, with the fan base, the community that you have behind this team, and how electric this team is at home, as we see this moment continue to build, they're going to get everything thrown at them.
In the groove, Lopez. One wide, Natty James gripping the ball once more. Much of the play early on taking place down that far flank. Not the calling card of Portland, who relies so heavily on the partnership of Ollie Wright and Nathan Messer. Here's Ollie Wright getting on the ball. Into the pocket, Titus Washington, and Lopez, the captain, down by Washington. And dribbling out from the back, Miguel Pajaro. Able to unwind, and once more is swung in. Washington puts a face in the fan, and shot from distance, blocked again. Rip-roaring start. This is Ollie Wright.
And this is where Portland Hearts of Pine like to keep possession. They are a high-pressing team. They're a team that wants to regain momentum on the ball higher up the field, but they want to be on the ball in the final third. And it almost seems so casual on how Ollie Wright and Nathan Messer just interchange. I mean, it's all but casual to opponents. I mean, they have to deal with that constant interchange, that constant communication and shuffling around of space.
Team's leader and second leader in terms of overall touches as the ball is one high and foul is called.
And it just speaks volumes to the relationship and the awareness and understanding they have for each other and what they present to opponents. Ollie Wright, so comfortable dropping in, getting on the ball deeper. He does not always have to start that run so high. And Nathan Messer just to climb the field and get that width so early.
AV Alta not backing down though here on the road. I already told you that they claimed victory last time the two teams tangled in Portland, but beyond that, also unbeaten. Now the third meeting of these two teams here on decision day. Got a draw in the first clash of these two squads back in California. Very different teams at this point though. It's a little late. Justin revisiting maybe some of the belief in the principles for Alta. They were flying heading into the summer months, were climbing up the table, looked like they might be a threat for a home playoff game, much similarly to where Portland are now. Then they went 14 games without a win, breaking that at the crucial moment as they took down Richmond ahead of this game to set up this absolute grudge match. There is a clear belief in this way of play as the shot is flung in. Hunter Morris will meet it with a stiff paw. Again, testing the target from outside the box.
And right now, efficiency is the name of the game for AV Alta. Yes, they are seeing the ball. They are on the ball in possession. But once they hit the final third, their ability to go at Hunter Morris and create some dangerous opportunities, they're getting some good looks.
Blancas this year having that shot in that moment. Typically, he is the late show man. 8 of his 9 goals have come in the second half this year. Well, that was ahead of today, who's already scored one. He nearly scored a second. It is the biggest players that you look to take responsibility, ownership of the game on a stage like this, and that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, especially for a team in AV Alta that their playoffs are beginning this weekend. It's a week ahead. They've got to get 3 points. They've got to make sure that they keep their foot on the gas. They continue to find some good chances, but defensively do what they're doing now, get behind the ball.
I do wonder how much they are willing to sit off. Nathan Messer lost the plot in the end, out for a throw. Get ready for all the exciting postseason action as the USL playoffs presented by Terminix. Kickoff in November. The top teams will battle it out for the ultimate prize. Go to USLLeague1.com for all the latest playoff information. Got a feeling plenty of folks are going to be sitting right there throughout the course of today. Other games kicking off at 6 and at 7. Certainly of pertinence, the Henny Derby today at 6. Madison and Richmond. Those two teams will be hot on the heels of Alta if they can't get a win. Madison, I should say, Charlotte Independence, currently existing in that 8th spot. They will play FC Naples at 7 p.m. Omaha and Spokane also tied up in a game that has massive bearing for our contest today. And Portland must turn to the team that they embarrassed on Tuesday to get a win to restore any hope of seeing one more game here at Fitzpatrick in Omaha. Must not get a victory in that one. Quarter hour gone here, Eric. It hardly feels like there's been a moment to catch the breath.
Yeah, and you have both teams displaying their structure, their identity in front of everybody, and the pace and the tempo that both these teams want to play at and with is so fun to watch. I mean, Portland, they are so progressive with trying to find that first pass when they regain possession. They get on the ball, they don't look to reset. I mean, obviously, if it has to be, they're aware enough, and they definitely highlight the decision-making in terms of having to start from the back and build out, but their first idea is, how do I get forward? And for AV Alta, how you move defenders, whether that's on the dribble or that's your passing range, something that is so creative from this group.
Floated in behind, a rare direct ball out of the back for Omish. Settled well. Omish driving still. Adam Omish laid off. Shot coming and turned away by Morse. It was a staggering piece of play from AV Alta to open up the avenue, but Hunter Morse denies on a deep shot.
So decisive in the final third right now for AV Alta. The runs, the positional play, and for Hunter Morse, that is a big save, fighting through traffic, getting down to his right, and pushing to an area that you leave no secondary opportunity. When you catch it that late, you're just looking to make the save, but now pushing it away. Good ball over the top.
Ollie Wright, a welcoming first touch, waiting on reinforcement. Messer and Wright. Ollie Wright has not scored from open play in the last 10 games, a handful of penalties. Nudged away, Masashi Wada turning. Wada lifting in, but just ultimately ran out of space. Well defended by Osvaldo Lay. Portland starting to run the game a little bit. AV Alta so dogmatic with how they want to control the game through the ball, playing against it a little bit here.
Yeah, you score that opening goal, and that human behavior start to jump in. You want to be cautious. You want to make sure that you're tidy when you get dispossessed. You find yourself to retreat a bit quicker, and you know that you need to manage that 5-10 minutes after you score. You've got to make sure that you don't give momentum back or at all to Portland Hearts of Pine.
Partner, you've been a coach in moments like this, and it's so important to communicate to players that this is who we are. Cultivate that identity. But when the stakes are so clear like this, there is that human tendency, you have to imagine, to maybe go against that, be a little bit more pragmatic here.
There is, and I think as you see this game develop, and I would say in the next 5 minutes, you're probably going to see an uptick from AV Alta. You're going to see kind of that ruthless nature, those behaviors start to come out again, try to play a bit more front-footed.
Wada on the 1-2, Natty James taking off its flight. Break might be there, helped along, and foul is called. We've seen Alexandra Billiter have to more than once stop the game, and she will give her first caution of the match. It was a crunching tackle that went in on Omish. Natty James, the one with the name taken.
Trying to halt any sort of counterattack that AV Alta might create, and going back to the shift in possession and the shift in momentum and who's on the ball a bit more here. I go back to what we discussed when this first half opened. Can you control second and third waves? Can you control those moments? And right now, Portland Hearts of Pine are active, and they are finding their way in those moments to collapse on the ball, make sure that it is only them that can get back on the ball and then dictate the tempo. Can they sustain it though?
Lifted over the top by Titus Washington. Wada in pursuit. One of the best pressers in the league. Hot on the heels of Denzel Smith. Flashing away, and foul called on Nathan Messer. Nathan Messer, who had that, what could be considered the goal of the year. I know there were some claims of that against Spokane. Was not a shot. I will not hear any other argument. It was a cross, but finds the back of the net all the same. And it will be those kind of difference makers that Portland likely are to lean on here.
And you have to believe that for a Portland Hearts of Pine side that have already clinched a playoff spot, but obviously still vying for a home playoff game, still coming off of that 2-2 against Westchester. I mean,
yeah.
You take the lead, you go back to level, you take the lead, and then you concede late. The response that Bobby Murphy and his side displayed, going up 2-0, and then having that lead cut in half with that Nico Brett goal, you have to feel like there was a moment where, here we go again, but there was none of that from Portland Hearts of Pine. They put everything into earning that third goal and then just pressed on and just exploded for the remaining goals. And what a statement win. Gonna start to close out this season, and now being challenged in a different way.
If they want to play in front of these fans again this year, they have to dig something out and get victory. Ollie Wright trying to provide, laid off. Messer, it's blocked. Gave it a really good whack. It looked like it was on pace to cause problems.
What an important block there. The timing of Ollie Wright to separate himself from the defender. I mean, that is an art form right there, to be able to pull a defender central, and then he gets himself on the ball. Obviously, the ball out wide is such high quality, and then Nathan Messer, you just know that he is coming. You got to make sure that you're tracking him. Just unable to get through that traffic, but again, credit to AV Alta for putting the bodies behind the ball, making it difficult, protecting their goalkeeper, Smith, who has not had to necessarily face a clear-cut opportunity just yet. Has had a lot of action in and around the 18-yard box, but nothing that he's had to come up with, as we see a yellow on AV Alta.
That's Pelivanov who gets the cart. Wada taking a tumble into the boards.
Wada is doing a terrific job of occupying various channels and various lanes.
The yellow card is brought to you by the law offices of Joe Bornstein. It renders what could be a useful opportunity here for Portland. They lead the division in terms of indirect free kick goals with 5. Plenty of players that could seriously cast a marker in this moment. Ollie Wright looks like he has total custody of the opportunity. Denzel Smith had to make a save in this game. Didn't have to make one in a clean sheet against Richmond. His resolve likely to be tested here in this moment. Ollie Wright with swerve. Played low. Poon-Andron, the routine's on. Messer away. Michel Poon-Andron lifting. And it was flying towards the head of Koulibaly up until the point Titus Washington put his head in and took it off its course.
Yeah, I know Koulibaly is putting his hands on his head, but I'm not sure that that would have made it, so I don't disagree with the touch from Titus Washington. Obviously, you want to guide this on frame, but you're going back to the ball a bit. I think AV Alta had that secondary run covered. This has been a good spell and a good response from Portland Hearts of Pine after conceding the goal.
Portland stepping up in the press. Slashed away by Ollie right now. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, I'm told, it's the player's choice. And it is Kamali Green choosing to play it out of touch there, not taking any chances. Alta patterning, Cerrito's running. Back for Hunter Morris from Kamali Green. Once more important to state here. Maybe Alta backed in, bolting the door a little bit here. They have set the all-time single season high this season for possession average. Hardly any to this point, 25 minutes in. Eduardo Blancas, if you're just now joining us, is the point of difference. Soft spot for Natty James, now Mikey Lopez. Lingering wide at the touchline, Shandon Wright, blocked on the way through. Down by Messer. Lassoing is Ollie Wright. Now Nathan Messer. Shifting through the gears, Michel Poon-Andron. Not done away with Ollie Wright! A bit of voodoo at the end, and it just sweeps wide.
Oh, he catches this well. This block right here, not out of harm's way, especially when Ollie Wright is lurking. He's looking to get on the ball initially, but gets himself in that space. And this is a full-on lethal attack from Portland Hearts of Pine right now. Since conceding the goal, they have had the energy, they've had the commitment to not only get behind the ball in some of the key areas, but get themselves in the attacking half at a rapid rate.
Is it just me or players catching the ball really well so far?
They are, and I think the biggest thing with that is when you are positionally executing at the clip that they are right now, you put yourself in a spot where you could be technically sound. You can be progressive with the way that you play off of each other, and that's what we're seeing from Portland Hearts of Pine right now. And for AV Alta, they need to find their footing.
Lopez leading the break. He's cut down. Pelivanov is already on a booking. He may be fortunate there.
And I think that's exactly what the discussion is right now. Ball played in and add to the awareness. Mickey Lopez knowing exactly where he wants to take that touch, where the defender is. Now with all that momentum that they've carried, you need to find that breakthrough. You need to reward yourself.
Chance to do precisely that here. Two-man barricade, Ollie Wright, as well as Nathan Messer presiding over top. It belongs to Ollie Wright. It's in by Ollie Wright. It sits up. Some calls for handball. Ignored. And on the run, AV Alta. Only right in recovery. Turns away the break initially. But now Cerritos goes forward. Advantage played. Steaming ahead, AV Alta. Lifted in. And arrowed into the reach of Morse. A bit biteless in the final product.
And that's what AV Alta need more of. Obviously, they get the block here and see that appeal. And now he's able to get up, win it cleanly, and they were off and running. But you saw how quickly Portland Hearts of Pine collapsed at midfield to get on the ball. But AV Alta, quick, decisive to get out of that tight space.
And that's one of those moments where we talk about being useful, ruthless in the box. Portland's unable to deliver in that instance, and you see it right there. 9 touches in the box for Portland so far, but yet to really test Denzel Smith.
Yeah, there was the efficiency from AV Alta early, but a lot of that work was outside of the box, and we see this field has tilted in the favor of Portland Hearts of Pine. I mean, they have controlled possession, and most importantly for Portland Hearts of Pine, a lot of that possession has been in the attacking half, and you see that with the touches in the opposition box. I mean, not only are they getting themselves in the final third, but they are upgrading, they're being aggressive in those moments, but now find themselves having to deal with another defensive free kick. Good hold-up play. That's where Mikey Lopez needs to be a bit more patient defensively. They've got 2 defenders on the back. You can see the frustration from Ollie Wright conceding that foul, knowing that they had good support behind the ball.
Blancas once more over top. Rifling in. It was Sega Koulibaly who stepped up with the ball right on the doorstep. Any free kick in the final third could really spell big-time mayhem with Eduardo Blancas in the game. Able to dodge the punch, Portland Hearts of Pine.
That is
So now we're gone.
about as ruthless as you can get on free kicks. I mean, you go on goal, he's lethal, he's clinical, and then you go and try to set up your teammates. I mean, that is an inviting delivery. Good outlet from Portland Hearts of Pine.
Lovely stuff from the Hearts, punched away by Denzel Smith. Titus Washington was right there in his path.
And his first call to action, an important one. Good break for Portland, their ability to move defenders, ask different questions, challenge in different areas, and Smith quick off his line and fighting through that traffic. So important to set that tone.
Another yellow card. This time Michel Poon-Andron. Alexandra Billiter well aware of what's on the line and has had a tight leash.
He's coming off of first contact, and then see the coming together there. And you can see the frustration for picking up the yellow. And on top of that, just need to continue to deal with this barrage of delivery from Blancas.
Just something to be mindful of. Would be very easy for a player on a yellow card to get swept up in a moment in this atmosphere and do something rash that would alter the complexion of the game, and ultimately on a day like today, a season. In by Blancas. It's a shapely ball that Hunter Morse will stretch to. Down the line, Messer. Intoxicating chemistry down this near-hand flank. Ollie Wright, roping and right on cue. Messer hadn't made the run. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats, and you better get there early when Portland's involved. A great look at exactly how little room is left in the venue today. Attendance total, that would be top 10 in the USL Championship this year, Eric. Infield, Masashi Wada. Natty James brings the ball under a spell. Titus Washington just never got full purchase. Ollie right again with runway. A shift to the right. Left off for Messer, who carves in a cross. It glances off the head of Masashi Wada, but falls free only as far as Natty James, who goes again. Ollie right, a thought. Mikey Lopez rallying to the ball again, AV Alta. They just can't escape their own ends. James in from deep. Washington waiting! It's again blocked off the line. Defensive acrobatics, a high wire act from Pelivanov. Into the box and hit home. Masashi Wada. Blank it back. Portland level on decision day.
We are being treated to an unrelenting pace for this match. You have two teams that are fully committed to not only imposing their style of play, I mean, this delivery, ability for Titus Washington to get on that ball, but there is no wait from Portland. They get right on the ball, quick restart, and the delivery from Nathan Messer just catches AV Alta asleep and not marking. And you still needed the tidy finish from Wada there.
Another big moment for Masashi Wada. What is now his 9th goal, a town and country goal. And that's what's got them up and bouncing. We're right back where we started. Important to note in that sequence, Eric, all of the Alta players put their hand up, waiting for an offside. Cross came from the end line. Masashi Wada just so cleverly moving himself into a position to do real damage, and he does. Right back to it though, AV Alta called into action. Offside is the call in this moment. Maybe no better crosser of the ball than Nathan Messer, having set the league's all-time single-season record already this year. That was true coming into last game. Makes another meaningful moment. The league's leader this season in terms of goal contributions by a defensive player.
He is one of those players that is the standard of what the evolution of that outside back position has become in this game. You are not only that defensive stopper, that wrecker of attacks, winning duels, 1v1s, but you are that player that inserts themselves in the attacking third, and then you add that quality of the service, the delivery. What an influence Nathan Messer has on a match-to-match basis.
Portland pressing hard. Alta unable to evade. Another gruesome collision. It belongs to AV Alta though. Mikey Lopez back to his feet. Never shy for a fight. Their captain. The press has been monstrous so far from Portland's. What is maybe even worse news for AV Alta. When Portland gets a goal in the first half, it often does not go well for their opposition. Only one time have they been beaten this year. When they score in the first 45, we saw what they can do against Spokane.
Well, going back to how empowering this crowd is for Portland, I mean, you not only talk about the numbers and the power of numbers, but this is a crowd that is fully engaged in what the match needs.
Something Bobby Murphy has talked a lot about this year, how smart and educated these fans already are. How they sense the moments and know when to get behind the team. They certainly are now. Smoke yet to clear from the first goal. Natty James looking for another. Taking off his footing. Now the whistle will not shrill. Out of play. This massive crowd forcefully behind their team. Masashi Wada and Titus Washington wide. Stung in towards Ollie Wright. Will spin around and catch up. Laid off. Shot coming. Lopez is blocked. Lopez again. Once more, Pelivanov dons the cape and denies the opportunity.
This is just high octane right now from Portland. Their movement, so sharp. Mikey Lopez sitting in that pocket of space.
Thompson main corner kick. It's Natty James. It's high arcing. It's over everybody. Right idea, wrong placement. Of course, the supporters here must feel much lighter than they did 5 minutes or so ago. Another monster attendance number, close to 6,500.
What this organization and community have cultivated is so special, and something that here in the United States you look at and you want teams to be able to model it after this and make sure that you're building those roots and that foundation in not only wanting to build a competitive team, but building one that is heavily involved in everything that the community stands for, and back that up with the support.
Lopez lasers one high.
You mentioned their ability to involve themselves in matches. We've seen that on full display tonight. You concede an 8th minute goal on an exquisite free kick from Blancas, and the response has been relentless. I mean, they have been on the ball early and often. They have just not allowed AV Alta to get any sort of rhythm or any sort of form going forward. And that's going to be the challenge for AV Alta, is problem solving. How do you find those pockets to get in and out of pressure? How do you build through the thirds? How do you stick to your identity and be effective as you see another turnover at half?
Ollie Wright, rampaging, dancing. It's again Pelivanov, who is on the yellow card, fearless in the tackle. Now, neither side will be satisfied now. Both teams need to win to achieve their respective objectives. Once more back at 1-1. Night where the game started and hasn't stopped. AV Alta under siege, largely at the hands of this man. Ollie Wright deferring. Rhythmic passing. Michel Punandron goes early and just stings the glove of Denzel Smith. You know, we saw Portland score a bunch of goals from outside the box in their last game. To be precise, a grand total of 3 of them. Certainly feels like it's lifted their confidence in taking those kinds of efforts on tonight. Sega Koulibaly in a tight space. It's kept on. AV Alta finally confiscated. Villalobos on the 1-2 Blancas. Against the run of play and into the final third. Omish. Alta finally decamping from their own half. Omish. Rushing on to the right. Centrally, and spun wide. This is the rhythm and rhyme that AV Alta would like to play with. Christian Ortiz.
And it all started with winning possession at midfield. When you could shrink the field, now getting dispossessed, can you slow them down?
What a ball! Ollie Wright! Wright rocking in. Titus Washington, it's saved. Washington goes it again. Blocked once more. Lopez arriving on the scene. Now Nathan Messer. Messer, it's blocked again. Messer once more. My goodness. Alta, a symphony of blocks, and it's out for a corner. A Tom's main corner kick. And Portland hatched their plan and breathe.
I think that ball in from Ollie Wright kind of took Titus Washington by surprise as we see Ollie Wright pumping up the crowd.
Portland's protagonist plays short. Michel Punandron at least tests a moment of anxiety from Denzel Smith, but he backtracks and sees it fly over frame. Waiting on the board to go up. Can't imagine there's going to be much. They have been 100 miles per hour from the opening bell. Ollie Wright's been so involved at the heart of the creative effort. You look at the splits in terms of his engagement at home versus away. Right in the thick of the golden playmaker race. With the game at his feet, we're seeing it to the tune of about 13.5 more touches per game at home per 90. Extra 11 passes per game at 90. Certainly has felt exactly like that so far.
Absolutely. I can't think of one possession that went into the attacking half that did not touch the foot of Ollie Wright first. As we see now a yellow card for Omesh.
Yellow card presented by the law offices of Joe Bornstein. Omesh, the most recent to go in the book. Something that will have to dance in the minds of both managers with players on bookings. How tight will that leash be to yank the player out of the game and try and preserve that aspect of it? See that side doesn't go down to 10 men in the second half. It's 2 minutes of stoppage time. More than enough at the tempo of this one for either side to write another chapter of their young history. Not the only moment where Ollie Wright has not been able to summon the ball. Maybe Alta just hoping to get to the break. Not down a goal at this stage. Villalobos looking up and launching. What a touch. And running toward the top of the box. Gets away from Koulibaly. It's Cerritos. Cerritos. And undone in the last moment. And Portland come the other way. Well weighted, but Pelivanov there step for step. A palpitating night in Portland's final stanzas of the first half. Unable to deal with it at the back. Running forward and wide and left too narrow. Nathan Messer steps in. One last go for Portland and Ollie Wright. Blitzes right by Ortiz. And gets it right back. Ollie Wright's infield for Wada, the goal scorer. Taken down! The referee thinks, she shakes her head. A massive call not made. Howls of boos echoing around the grounds. We're past the 2 minutes given, and we come to our expiration. A massive no call right at the end of the frame from Alexandra Billiter.
And this has been Portland throughout this first 45. The ability to challenge AV Alta in and around the box. For Portland, do not deviate from what's working right now, but also don't assume the goal is coming. Continue to upgrade, continue to push for that breakthrough. AV Alta, you have to start controlling the tempo of this match. This pace favors Portland right now.
A no call that becomes a footnote in what was a half for the ages here on Decision Day. Gauntlet thrown here in Portland. The Hennepin halftime report coming up. We are knotted at one here in Portland. We pick through the bones when we return.
Sounds low. Right. Great. So elbows back.
Most homeowners have it somewhere in their house. It's that one bad window. It's drafty, or maybe it sticks or leaks. You'd love to replace it, but think, no company is coming out for just one lousy window. And truthfully, most companies won't. But we're Renewal by Andersen, and we'll replace just one window. Call Renewal by Andersen today for a free window and door diagnosis. 207-804-4500.
When you really care about good, you start seeing possibilities others might miss. Hannaford has been at this since 1883, supporting local farmers and making quality food affordable. Turns out, it's possible to take care of people and the planet we share by going the extra mile for what really matters. See all this good? At Hannaford, it's the small moments of care that add up to make a big difference for all of us. Hannaford, all for good.
This is you. When you sign up for Trellis Health, this is your team. Seriously, these people. At Trellis, your primary care provider, physical therapist, pharmacist, health coach, and behavioral health clinician work together for better results. With same-day visits and 24/7, 365 telehealth, your care is primary with us. Become a member today.
Welcome to Trellis Health.
Visit trellishealth.org.
Back from the break here. Portland is where our game is, and it is 1-1 at the Hannaford halftime report against AV Alta on decision day. An excellent stadium atmosphere here in Portland. We'll take a look at what is going on around the USL on the stadium front now.
In the USL, shovels in the ground mean as much as scoring goals. And Sacramento Republic is on its way to transforming the city's rail yard district into a soccer palace. The same is happening in the Motor City, with Detroit City's new home clearing way for stadium construction. Miami FC has unveiled its future home in South Florida, while the Pittsburgh Riverhounds prepare for their stadium expansion, preserving one of the best views in all of sports. The growth is felt as well in League One, with expansion on the way for 2026. The scene changes daily at the site of Fort Wayne's new home, from clearing the area in early June to the sweet sight of concrete and steel in mid-September. All watched closely by Fort Wayne's Director of Communication, Justin Cohn.
Thousands of people literally drive past this thing every day. So how cool is it for everyone to get a chance to see this thing every single day get closer?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's ideally located for people going to and from work, or they're driving down to Indianapolis, and you're seeing it in really at a rapid pace come up. So you're really seeing a lot of the facade of what will be the stands start to come up.
I look at the renderings. First thing I notice is this gigantic video board. So give me some of the neat things about that, because this might be the best thing in League One for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the scoreboard is something I'm really excited about. It'll be the second longest scoreboard in the entire state. So that means it eclipses an NFL stadium. You're going to have a lot of options at Fort Wayne FC Park in terms of watching the matches. There's a lot of possibilities that you can do with the scoreboard.
Fellow League One expansion club Boise is seeing its vision take shape as construction at the park at Expo, Idaho is full speed. And longtime League One club Greenville Triumph has kicked off construction at Bridgeway Station.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
To put Portland into the postseason. Referee reaches for the whistle. It ends. Here on a decisive day in the USL League One. It remains at 1-1 at the break, exactly where we started. In terms of the table, a look at that table coming to you now. Portland setting the pace for the day and the upcoming schedule as it stands here. This all unfolds today. Portland starting the day off, then Henny Derby coming up after this with massive bearing on AV Alta, and Forward Madison can get victory there, but just really plenty of pressure to sink into and a massive menu to enjoy.
Yeah, and for a lot of these teams and players, how do you turn that pressure into performance? And obviously performance to not only get yourself into the playoffs, get the seeding that you're looking for, but catapult yourself into form going into that playoff run.
Absolutely, and a look at the standings now that back the imports of these fixtures. And as we said, exactly where we started the game, Portland currently in 5th, but they need to get a little bit more from this game if they are to push Union Omaha and get above them in the table.
Yeah, and for AV Alta, have to get the result. Control the controllables. Continue to try to build yourself into this game. Obviously, you've seen it get away from them a bit, but you got to get 3 points, and then you got to sit back and watch some results after this.
The news and notes, Portland heavily involved. We already told you about that record attendance, up towards that number again today. Massive for the club what they're doing on the community front.
And what FC Naples and Portland Hearts of Pine have done from the expansion side of it, making the playoffs. I mean, it is so hard to introduce yourself into a league and have those lessons and continue to challenge yourself and then make the playoffs. And then the expansion club, Fort Wayne Football Club in Dales, their branding, I mean, incredible. So excited for it.
Excellent crest. Maybe taking a note of what Portland did with their branding a year ago. As for what else is to come in and around the league, a look at some of the good coverage going on with the divisions on Sirius XM FC coming to you now. 1-1 here at the break.
The final week of the USL Championship regular season is upon us. Will the real Western Conference playoff contenders please stand up? Who's going to make a run for the title in the East? And we roll out the red carpet for one of the best that has ever graced his presence in USL Championship play. Rodrigo Lopez calls it quits at the end of this season.
At LL Bean, we've been innovating for over a century, making great products better so you can feel better. Day after day, year after year. Outside together since 1912. LL Bean. Be an outsider.
I'm David Libby, President and CEO of Town & Country Federal Credit Union. At Town & Country, we work hard to make a difference every day. From providing a first auto loan to that young adult just starting out, or making the dream of home ownership a reality with a mortgage offering closing costs well below nearly every other local lender, or a Visa credit card with a great rate. Town & Country Federal Credit Union is local people helping local people. Let us help you.
When I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, New England Cancer Specialist was there for me. Through chemotherapy, radiation, and recovery. Hope showed up in unexpected ways, giving me strength to move forward. This Breast Cancer Awareness Month, schedule your screening because our fight against cancer is stronger as a team. New England Cancer Specialists, the center of comprehensive cancer care.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Allagash. Hope you've got your win back. Second half coming up. Highlights from the first frame here in Portland. Immediately, Eduardo Blancas throwing down the glove. These highlights are presented by Kennebec Savings Bank. What a strike this was.
Just so lethal from those dead ball restarts, those situations. An early frustration for Portland Hearts of Pine, but they turned that around immediately, starting to win possession higher up the field. Now, this was some of the efficiency that we saw early on from AV Alta, their ability to not only get into the final third, but enhance chance creation. But then that attack came to a screeching halt for AV Alta because Portland Hearts of Pine put their foot on the gas. They started to win the ball higher up the field, and in transition, they were so electric. Ollie Wright dictated the pace, the tempo. Titus Washington started to get involved. Short corner goes to Nathan Messer, and then Wada just tucks this one away to get the equalizer. And the pace never deviated for Portland after that. They continued to press on and put AV Alta under tremendous pressure. And I mean, my goodness, the shot discrepancy right there. Now, for Portland Hearts of Pine, can you start to upgrade? You have 14 shots, but only 3 of those on target. You're owning the possession battle, which is something for AV Alta tends to have, but you're doing a lot of it in the attacking half. Can you upgrade some of the opportunities you're creating?
Wild first half. In terms of all the underlying numbers, Portland 22 touches in the box compared to only 3 from AV Alta. Again, stats brought to you by Menick. We'll see if their heads are still spinning, if they're still seeing stars decide from California as we start up this second frame.
And I think the numbers that we see possession-wise in favor of Portland right now, for AV Alta, it's affecting them because of the structure defensively. They're just getting squeezed into their 18-yard box. And when you're squeezed in the 18-yard box, you're getting key interventions defensively, which they are, but you have no outlet going forward. And for them, that's what they're going to hone in on. You need to find that ability to play that higher ground, that higher area. If you're going to get pressed from Portland, there's going to be space to play into. You just need to find it.
We have a substitution to report out of the break. Brian Clavin trying to change the tempo, and doing so by bringing on the youngster Javier Mariona, replacing Adam Omish, who was on the yellow card. Have to imagine that maybe played into the calculus with how fast and firing this game has already been. Several players will have to have that extra abundance of caution in this frame in terms of not picking up that all-important second yellow as we prep for the second frame to commence. Neither team will be content with a draw. Portland with a wide range of outcomes stepping into this one. Could finish as high as 4th, could finish as low as 7th. AV Alta need to win to have any chance of going to the postseason, extending this inaugural season as they play straight out of play, likely to set up their press here the early moments of this frame. Peyton Geller here with Eric Dobransky. We'll see how Brian Clavin has altered things in the dressing room.
You got to believe a lot of the discussion was where and when they can engage in their defensive structure, where they can build off of those cues collectively. Because right now it's one wave, they get broken, and then the next wave. So how do you squeeze that space as a group and make it difficult for Portland to play in and out of?
Ollie Wright, well read defensively by Christian Ortiz. He got the runaround in that first 45 minutes between the two of them on the far flank. Ollie Wright. Wada. Masashi Wada, the goal scorer. Guiding wide, Shandon Wright. Back for Wada. Wada's cross is well weighted and turned off the line. A stunner of a stop, Denzel Smith.
A massive save from Smith. You deal with this delayed delivery from Wada, and then you get that slightest of touches. The reaction that is needed to make that save is huge for Smith and keeps this game level.
The Trinidadi international denies Portland at point blank, but they will not relent. They have been the best, freest scoring second half team in the division. Got two of them on Tuesday against Spokane, and they're right back where they left off. Titus Washington. Just saw one taken off the board a moment ago. Centrally, scooped in for Natty James. Back out for Washington, and the final pass goes astray, cleared by Javier Mariota.
And with the momentum and the pace that Portland was playing with throughout that first half, you could only imagine that we're gonna see more of that here in the second. Chance creation at a high level, the movement at a high level, the work that Sebastian Cruz and Christian Ortiz have had to do along that right side for AV Alta has been important and is going to continue to define how this match plays out.
Eric, AV Alta had 8 blocks in the first half. Tied for the most in any first half in the league this year. Already tied for the most in club history in a game for AV Alta. The reality is Portland easily could have 2, if not 3 or more.
All those blocks so important, but it also does showcase how quickly they retreated into their own 18-yard box, so a structure that they're going to want to change. As we see the goals conceded for AV Alta. And that was that balance that when you look at the resume and the trends within teams throughout the season, 40 goals scored for AV Alta, obviously 41 with the one tonight, and the goals conceded 46. It's trying to find that balance in both boxes, trying to make plays when they're there to be made. Yes, scoring goals is important, but having those important interventions, you mentioned the 8 blocks in the first half, it's not only identifying when you're needed, but stepping up in that moment as well.
Washington puts it back into it. As the shot blocked. What's the word? Is it a throw or a corner? It's a quickly taken throw. Into the box, banked away. Shandon Wright down. Shandon Wright did not quite leather that the way he would have wanted. AV Alta clinging to the ledge, trying to maintain the resolve. On the precipice of the playoffs here. Under the Prince Tires Family Game Day Kit Sweepstakes. Chance to win a prize pack worth up to $4,000. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter today. I would put all $4,000 into Portland Hearts of Pine kits. Not too shabby on the other end, AV Alta today with the change kit here in this one.
I was going to say, we have dueling identities and principles as it comes to style of play and dueling kits. I mean, both these teams sharp in what they present as it pertains to the pace and the tempo of this match. Portland have just been unrelenting in how they want to approach restarts. They get a throw in, they go quick. They get a free kick, they go quick. They regain possession, they go quick.
Natty James down. Inspiring bit of running. Titus Washington tilted wide.
Nice work from Natty James. The individual effort continues to get himself on the ball. Titus Washington never stops moving his feet. Make sure that, yes, he's concentrating on the work that Natty James is doing, but also trying to predict where this ball can pop out. Where can this ball fall to him? Terrific positioning, just unable to put that on goal. But when you see some of the saves that Smith has had throughout this game, you know that you've got to be precise in the finish.
Mayona driving. He's claiming a deflection. And that claim is accepted by the referee. It's a corner. Alexandra Billiter, that key no call at the end of the first half. Portland have been unable to cash in on the momentum and grow an actual lead. This corner is presented by Toms of Maine. They've already scored on one set piece today, AV Alta. Portland have been one of the best corner defenses in the division this year. They conceded 2-headed goals throughout the course of the campaign. In addition to that sparkling record on dead balls. And of course, it's a different animal dealing with Eduardo Blancas. He was poised and positioned. 53rd minute, AV Alta require all 3 points to stay alive. Ball in, it neared the Olympico. The thought would have crossed the mind of Hunter Morse. Special player.
And in no way would I say that Brian Claiborne will deviate and change the way that his team wants to play, but do you see spells in this second half where AV Alta just manages territory, manages the match, maybe picks and chooses some opportunities? Obviously, you get a corner from Blancas right there. You create something dangerous, and then you pick your moments to start building in and sustaining the way that you want to play in this game, because the frenetic pace that Portland continue to play at, it's just hard for AV Alta right now. It's hard for them to get the distances right, both defensively and offensively, because they are so compact and squeezed in to make plays, those blocks, those tackles. It just has not lended themselves to the ability to play out.
Ollie Wright bending. Natty James is placing on the pass. If there's any player that maybe hasn't had the rhythm in this game, it's been him. Popped up in a couple good moments. Final phase quality, been elusive. AV Alta on the run. Mickey Lopez regains the ball for Portland.
And that's going to be the continued challenge for AV Alta. Good threaded ball in at midfield. But when you're playing a team that has this stylistically, that plays like AV Alta, you know that it's going to take multiple passes to break you down. You know that they're looking to not break you down in 1, 2, 3 passes. It's going to take 4, 5, 6. So they let you to kind of live and breathe in some of those second, third actions defensively. So yes, you can be broken down in that initial press, but you can get yourself back in the play if you're decisive and you're quick to get yourself in those areas. So for AV Alta, can you match that urgency? Can you match that speed?
Referee facing another decision, Michel Pounandron has already been booked once in this game, and he will avoid what could be a game-turning second yellow. Those are the players that saw the yellow card in the first half. Omish already recalled. You have to really consider the managers might quickly go to give the hook to some of these players that are on the booking.
If for Portland, the 2 players on yellows are 2 of their 3 midfielders. So heavy involvement from both of those. I mean, we saw Natty James getting into the plays offensively on the ground, trying to scrap and claw to get back on that ball. Obviously, was able to play that ball to Titus Washington. But those are those effort plays that sometimes lead to a foul here and there, a disruption at midfield. So you have to be measured. Good outlet.
Blancas fiddling and fizzing. What a ball. Javier Mariona. Mariona onto the left and bends it wide. It's a goal kick. Shandon Wright able to take enough of the target away. Game starting to really heat up on a cold night here in Maine. You have to really put it in your mind in this moment. Maybe Alta aren't used to playing in these conditions. Everybody bundled up in a tight and contested atmosphere.
Oh, with the pace that this game is being played at, I think the players are probably plenty warm. It's staff and the players on the sideline trying to stay bundled up and warm. But this game is just going up and back. And we have seen an uptick in AV Alta's ability to find that outlet. We saw it just a moment ago. Obviously, good absorption defensively from right there for Portland, making sure that he did not overcommit, create something for Mariona, but that recognition of where the numbers are at and AV Alta being able to break that pressure, that's where you can settle the tempo. That's where you can take your time, pick your pass.
Pause in play. Portland are prepping a couple of changes. These all presented by $3 Deweys. First changing of the deck for Bobby Murphy. And it looks like Pat Lingua, the Aussie midfielder, is ready to come on, as well as Sean Vinberg. Shandon Wright, his day is done. Vinberg, center back by trade. He's moonlit a little bit this year at right back. We'll see if it will be a back three. And Portland changing things, but unlikely. Probably more tried and true defensive option there on the flank. AV Alta desperate to establish some kind of rhythm. They've been a little bit better this half, though. Desperate fight to the finish line. Missiled in towards the corner. Javier Mariona again causing problems. Vinberg's first action. Blancas, room to cross. Stepped away by Koulibaly. Only as far as Osvaldo Lay. Alta go again. And Portland back behind the ball. Fans chanting Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi to welcome Pat Lingua into a pressure-packed moment. A little levity in the mood. Stern evening betwixt the Pines here in Portland. Both teams requiring victory to seize any reality in the playoffs that meets their expectation. Portland vying for the home spot, the last remaining. AV Alta needing to win to continue their season past this point. Ollie Wright on the avenue, blustering wide. Cross is blocked, a hearty effort to chase it down. And a big release. Corner coming, AV Alta able to avoid any danger there by way of the defender, Sebastian Cruz. Taking quick again, Messer again. Just missing out, down to Natty James. Fumbles it away on the first touch. And the break is brewing for AV Alta. Flying in formation. The boys from Antelope Valley on the charge. Mikey Lopez gets it inch perfect. Giving it right back though. And a toppling. Lopez took him down.
Key intervention for Mikey Lopez. Reads this just right. Knows that they're going to want to play that left side. Reads it perfectly, steps in.
Holy right needling, bringing in Sean Vinberg. Running the game, Ollie Wright and Messer. Rocks in across. Hammered away. Portland have made 2 changes this half. Some recovery defensive work from Sega Koulibaly. Important to note, Azad Liadi is back available on the bench for Portland. Haven't seen him since July 12th when he got hurt against Texoma. He's missed the last 17 games, but prior to that injury had scored in 3 of the last 4. Titus Washington's been great in reserve, but he is the number 9 for this club. Getting him back in a big moment. Be so curious to see if he gets the run out here in such an important game. Colby Quinones is also back in the 18 today, waiting on the bench. Bobby Murphy could have put him on at right back, his natural position, but chose Vinberg instead. Koulibaly letting the chips fall as he drives out from the back of the center back. Now Vinberg. Tight confines, but he works it out well. Wada. Kamali Green splits a line. Gets away from Mikey Lopez. And this is where you miss that vertical aspect for AV Alta as now they switch the play. You just probably there, Eric, want them to play it out a little bit quicker.
It is, and for AV Alta, can you delay just enough to let your team start to climb the field, put themselves in a position where you're sitting on that back line? Because right now you're playing at a disadvantage. You're playing in behind, but you're a couple yards below.
Still Masashi Wada snaking to the end line, serving in. Ollie Wright, he tried it. Now Messer goes and scores! Frenzy at Fitzpatrick. 2-1 Portland.
This highlights the danger that you create when you drive at that end line. When teams are able to access that space deeper along the field, you push an opponent all the way right in front of their goal, and then you get the delivery like this. It goes away from goal, you've got everybody driven deep, and then you introduce this late runner. Obviously, you get the attempt from Ollie Wright, but Nathan Messer living in that space, striking it, lacing it with his left foot. Nothing that Smith can do. Battling through the traffic. Not only that, just the pace and quality that that ball was struck with.
It's indigestible for AV Alta. It's a town and country goal. It is a mammoth goal from Nathan Messer. The Hearts jump-started in a single instant. Undeniable, and they go. Natty James, a skipping stone wide.
And that goal right there was off of a play where we were talking about some of the verticality that AV Alta want to present, and their inability to kind of stretch the field gives Portland the chance to get back on the ball, regenerate an attack, and then followed up with another stellar defensive play from Portland to get back on the ball 30, 35 yards away from goal, and Natty James just tees it up.
Now 28 second half goals for Portland. Alta have to dig it out. Their hopes up in smoke. To the top of the box. Darted wide. Stung in, hit towards goal and blocked by Sega Koulibaly. It looked like Cerritos who had the stab. Alta compelled. Their season hangs in the balance on how prolific they might be in a pivotal moment. They have saved plenty of a result this year, finding ways to score late and secure points at the bell. Tops of the league with 16 on the year. Big thing is the absence of that in this stretch of downturn in their performance. Have not come back to win a game that they have trailed in as they do now since July 5th. Maybe Alta must do exactly that to prolong their commensurate campaign. Natty James causing problems. A late bending ball down to Vinberg. Just lost it at the end. Needed a tidier touch. James will want to go.
And what continues to be so impressive in this match is the balance that Portland has been able to present. A lot of the first half was along Nathan Messer's side. A lot of the attack was generated with those overloads. Now we've seen this right side come alive. Obviously it started with Wright at the beginning of the second half, but now it's just been enhanced with the introduction of Sean Vinberg.
Wada down. Cole given. Masashi Wada hardly ever has that kind of reaction to a call, but he loses his lid and gets a yellow. So at 2-1, Masashi Wada, the most recent to be entered into the book. His goal was the first, got Portland back even, played a central part in the second. He must be extra cautious now. Maybe Alta put on a face that won't be so friendly to Portland fans. Jerry Tesdoon entering the contest. Although he's not scored in 9 games, he did score against Portland in the prior meeting here in Maine. Plenty acute in the final third in his skills.
Well, now you have an AV Alta side that need to go after 2 goals. They need to make sure that they put the pressure. Scary ball played backwards.
Won by Koulibaly. It was Wada applying the pressure. Finally, Alta win a 50-50 and win a whistle. '69th minute. It's all come up Portland. They were put on the mat immediately. A sizzler strike from Eduardo Blancas in the early going. It was a dreamy start for AV Alta. And then, from that moment on, it has been a nightmare here on the heels of Halloween.
And the way that this match has played out, and you accompany that with the 2 previous matches, this is a team that has not only clinched the playoff spot, but you've got to feel like the form is scary for opponents, and whoever matches up with Portland.
Mariona just crumpled. The foul was immediately awarded. And this is nightmare fuel, meaning in a moment for AV Alta that they can instantly equalize. Eduardo Blancas, certainly in prime real estate, certainly capable. He's already done it once in this game. Here's what that looked like. Eduardo Blancas, for the 5th time this year, finding the back of the net on a direct effort from a free kick. That is the most by any player ever in the history of USL League One. That was true entering today. Could grow by double here in this moment. 4-man wall, Hunter Morse on his P's and Q's. Eduardo Blancas, and in! Eduardo Blancas! He shames the Angels. 2-2 AV Alta. Silence.
And in a moment that you think that Hunter Morris has to overplay that near post because of what happened on the initial goal from Blancas, Blancas hits this with even more detail and more shape. So Hunter Morris feels like he has that near post covered. But when you hit that strike even tighter than the first one, sneaks in. He has been everything coming into this match that you thought he could be off those dead ball restarts, off those free kicks.
Meanwhile, elsewhere, extra pressure applied. AV Alta, in their case, Forward Madison, have scored instantly against Richmond Kickers in the first half. They are up 1-0 in the Henny Derby. It is a red card. Masashi Wada, a second booking.
And we knew, unfortunately, there was going to be some hints of having to be measured with plays because of how emotionally charged this match has become and has been. And Wada talked himself into a yellow a few moments ago and puts himself in a position where he can't go out and make that play.
And beyond the present moment, that means one of the key figures in this Portland team will be unavailable in the first round of the postseason. In a blink, it has completely changed. They were looking into the abyss, AV Alta, not 5 minutes ago. A goal from a free kick makes it 2-2, and now they have the man advantage and all the imperative. Masashi Wada sent off, his second yellow in the half, not 10 minutes separating them. And it's worth a yellow card. It was a yellow card foul. Ball in. Just thrust away, down at the top of the box, Mariona. It twists cruelly in the ends.
Yeah, the frustration comes from, you had a 1v1 defense, you had it kind of bottled up already. You didn't have to go in from behind. You didn't have to come in and try to make that tackle. You could just guide the play into that narrow space.
Natty James reversing the flow. Portland needs something to pick them up. In behind to Vinberg, he'll have a chance, but it runs away in the end. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. You can figure out why Devin Kerr is wearing a tuxedo. Sega Koulibaly, swept wide, Vinberg. Mikey Lopez. Portland without Masashi Wada now. The man who got their goal to get it back even. Red card in this half. First of the season for Masashi. Madison in a key clash with their most bitter and hated rival, up a goal when they had to have it. 1-0 there, Alta. Their scenario was always crystal clear in regard to what they needed from the game. They had to get this win to continue their season. The good news for them is they do have the edge on Madison in regard to how the tie breaks set down. Madison can only jump Alta if they win by a margin of more than 3 goals. These 3 goals greater than that of AV Alta, which seems like at the current pace is almost guaranteed if they are to hit that figure. It slides all the way through. Can't imagine Alta are going to find more than the most narrow margins in this game, given they do have a much greater opportunity now.
And it's one of those double yellows that, yes, it comes towards the latter part of the second half, but it comes with plenty of time to navigate what kind of space becomes available now that you're up a player. So sometimes you see those double yellows or a red come with 4 or 5 minutes left, just a few remaining moments, and you have to be quick to recognize it. And I'm not saying that you have all the time in the world to figure it out, but you had over 15 minutes after that double yellow, and now you're going to start to exploit some of the spaces that you see.
Mariona Blancas, he's on a brace. He breezes wide. And from deep away by Koulibaly, down by Natty James, who looks up and launches. Washington providing the target, winning the fight with Pajaro. Ollie right infield. Washington, still Titus Washington. It's blocked. Some calls for handball. They're short-lived. Now the other way. Javier Mariona on his horse. Natty James, a clever foul.
And he's got to be careful because he's on a yellow as well.
The referee has provided some grace.
Yeah, and sometimes in this scenario, when you're the one down pressing and coming in from behind and really neutralizing any sort of breakout threat, there's definitely some grace there. Big play there to slow down AV Alta. You see the change.
It's Walmer Martinez, who also scored against Portland in the prior meeting here in Maine. More typically a wide defender replacing the 6 in this team. How that influences things will be told in the next 14 minutes. Natty James thankful not to be the second red card of this game for Portland, but still pressing the man advantage. Porto Blancas wouldn't go for it from this far, would he? He's already scored twice today. Said he plays short. Ill-fated ball that's snapped up by Hunter Morse. So Eric, in this position as a coach, everything just changes on you so sharply. Are you pressing your team on, if you're Portland, to maybe go and seek out a goal immediately to get it right back and have something to defend, or do you bunker?
No, I think you push at the tempo they're pushing because you're looking for 3 points, and obviously you've still done a tremendous job of sustaining the pressure defensively, and that shouldn't change now that you're a player down. In terms of their ability to screen passes tonight has been elite. Their ability to make numbers down situations seem either even or upgraded defensively, I mean, has been spot on throughout the night like that.
Messer meddling, backed off by Desdoon. Messer wins a corner. Masterclass at the edge of the box. And what do Portland have tuned up on this Thompson Maine corner kick? Maybe Alta have surrendered a league-high 9 headed goals this year. Committing resources in this moment down a man. In by Ollie Wright. Headed towards target. Taken tall. Knuckle applied by Smith. Chased down by Kamali Green. In by Kamali Green. Smith will end the threat and roll out. Portland could be exposed now. Alexis Cerritos sees a streaking run, does not release the ball. Now gets it out from under his feet to Mariona. Desdoon.
Since coming on, Mariona has been quite impactful for AV Alta. Not necessarily in possession, but his ability to be that threat, that presence that this back line needs to account for.
Martinez charges up a shot, winds up in a block. Ollie Wright, softening on the first touch. Ollie Wright now, trying to split the defenders. He's brought down, foul given. And Portland have a whole bunch of changes to make as a collision takes Ollie Wright off mission. It was certainly a shove from Miguel Pajaro. Not one of those who had been booked earlier, but he will not even get a yellow card there. Ollie Wright at the ready. We'll see if those substitutions come now. Looks like they will have to wait in the wings. 10 minutes left, 80 minutes on 90. Messer and Ollie Wright. Sucking in the atmosphere, trying to regain his composure, his breath. Ollie Wright. In front of 6,000 plus. Standing at attention. In by Messer. And lifted past the frame. And a chance likely for the change. So a warm welcome back for several who have steadily been out of the team. Quinones and Azad Liati. Liati back in the squad for the first time in 17 games on the final day of the regular season. These substitutions, all three of them, brought to you keenly by $3 Deweys. And beyond all that, JT Kamara comes on. There is Azad Liati. He was the main man. He was starting to really get going right at the point of his injury. Number 9, that tipped the spear to start this project. Will do it again in the final 10 minutes of their first regular season. Mariona at full pace. Martinez rambling on, unstopped. Martinez, his cross comes all the way across and is hooked out by Nathan Messer. That was a hairy moment there for Portland.
And that's a scenario that with the player advantage, flood the box, vacate your space, go ahead and climb the field, put yourself in a position. Martinez does a terrific job of continuing the run, getting to that end line.
Each team has eaten the best punch the other one has to offer. Is there a twist in this tale late? AV Alta on the front foot and up a man. They must win. Quinones taking his time. It nearly goes disastrously. Did not read the bounce on what was effectively his first touch since getting back from injury. He's missed the last 11 games and it nearly goes horribly.
Again, the impact that Mariona has had since coming on.
JT Kamara, he has been a player that can change games in an instant. Have to watch on in defense here. Wide end, the overlap is there. The shot bounced in and blitzed wide. It's a goal kick.
And this is better from AV Alta. The numbers that surround the box, you're occupying defenders. That's still a tight angle to settle for.
Ollie Wright looking in over the top, down by Kamara. He can dazzle as he darts away and drives in a ball that never had a chance of getting to Ollie Wright. Mikey Lopez in the middle of a scrap in mid-park. He's lost out. Vinberg, Quinones stepping in. His interception is intercepted right back in turn. Sebastian Cruz, Desdune. Out for a throw. Richmond have reversed it. 2-1 against Madison. All they have to do, all they have to be motivated for is to spoil any opportunity to make the playoffs for Madison. They're currently doing precisely that. Still not good enough for Alta, who must get a goal to get above Charlotte in the table. Their game against Naples just about to start up in the next 10 minutes. Play is stopped. It belongs to AV Alta. Pressing on, working forward. It has been a wild night, almost as if it has come from a video game. Good time to tell you, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, it's free to play. Download now. Knocked off course by Kamali Green. JT Kamara picks it up, gives it away. Cerritos, a free look at goal, and he gets it all wrong.
And Cerritos, a player with his attacking presence that we have not seen a lot of throughout this match. And sometimes when you have a ball find you in that moment, you kind of lose track of the composure, the detail that you need to maybe just settle in, force Hunter Morse into a save, or at least make it difficult for Portland to deal with.
It was his first shot of the game. Stressing the back line, AV Alta. Wind in their sails, a widening cross, waiting for it, Javier Mariona. Desdune, Cerritos, navigating the tight space, taking off his toes. Kamara sprints away, he's a blur. JT Kamara raiding into the final third. Wide as Ollie Wright, and never gets out from Kamara. There's an AV Alta player on their haunches. This has required everything and then some. You're now in the 87th minute. Not for the faint-willed. Sebastian Cruz is struggling.
We highlighted how much work Sebastian Cruz and Christian Ortiz have had to do up and down this field, having to deal with the overloads, having to deal with the timing. Nathan Messer and Ollie Wright. See the changes now. Sebastian Cruz, unfortunately, unable to continue.
And that should be the final change for AV Alta. Miguel Ibarra is who they turn to. Had 33 minutes last game, but that's his season high. He's hardly played this year. Only 63 minutes in total for the entire campaign. Most importantly, he's certainly not a fullback. One of the league's all-time leading goal scorers in the last phases of his career. Brian Claben smartly getting one more substitution ready, it looks like. Ibarra coming on, he scored 34 times in his adventure through the USL League One, the Lancaster native. Eric Gonzalez also exits. Steven Ramos, product out of the academy, stepping in as well. Neither naturally in these particular defensive positions, maybe a little bit more so in the case of Ramos. Going for broke, AV Alta. Mariona. Top of the area. Blancas. Breezing infield, shot fired over goal on an arc.
And with those changes, and with the way that AV Alta plays, and having the player advantage, this is all about flexibility. This is all about how can you adapt positionally, but that is what their identity is predicated off of. I mean, when you are a ball-dominant side, your ability to not only vacate space, but to occupy other space is of prime importance. So something that's gonna not be far off for this AV Alta side. Obviously, not bringing positionally like-for-like players on the field, but be something for this side that know that they need to go after a goal. You're gonna have to try to pin Portland in their half, find control in those moments, and then be free-flowing.
Alta will be waiting on a Naples result. Charlotte have to lose their game for Alta's season to continue regardless of what happens here, but in the here and now, they must find something to keep drawing breath in their first year of operation. We are to the 90th minute. Langlois, Pat Langlois still. Langlois! Denzel Smith able to make fairly easy work of it. Of course, if Portland want to play in front of these people once more this year, they must find a way to get a goal and have results fall in their favor. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Into the box, off the back heel. Nobody home, and Hunter Morris will catch up. It was a clever little idea to flick it on like that. Looked like Cerritos. Stoppage time is presented by Visit Maine. A full season comes down to this. Messer. Can Portland muster one final last hearty go? Ollie Wright. Oh, he steps on the ball. The last man you would think to do it, but he wins it back. Kamara, dummies. There's nobody there.
And that's sometimes what you see when you are playing a player down. You do see that cautious approach from some of those deep-lying players. You've retreated, you've kind of got into your defensive shape, so you don't see them climb the field. Maybe Alta.
Cerritos, options there. Walmer Martinez. Walmer Martinez is bravely blocked on the ricochet. Ibarra now wide Mariona. Mariona. Jabbed off course. Ibarra goes. Blotted out by Vinberg. Headed down. Desdoon. Delivered in. Body down in the box. Portland can't get off the hook. Desdoon again. Plating wide. Messer in contest. Blancas. Beautifully wide. Ortiz. Gets away from Messer at the end line. Cuts in. Cerritos was waiting there at the penalty spot. Inches. And still on. Desdoon. Walmer Martinez turning. Taken right away from him. Confiscating tackle. Kamara barges in to Steven Ramos and comes away. Ollie Wright's onside. Ollie Wright balancing. It's Ollie Wright. Just wriggles away. Beautiful defensive work.
Yeah, what a defensive play there. Just left 1v1. With Ollie Wright going towards goal. Not that this game ever needed a frenetic kind of tempo. It was already there, but now we've just seen it continue to increase.
Chucked in. Miguel Ibarra. Javier Mariona. Cerritos turning. Alexis Cerritos. Desdoon. Millimeters. Oh, it's so close for AV Alta, but off the mark.
The match that we are being treated to tonight is absolutely incredible. The responses we've seen from both these teams and the plays that we've seen have to be made have been big.
Denzel Smith is up. AV Alta have to win. Massive opportunity potentially for Portland on the break. In the here and now. Darted in. Knocked away. Denzel Smith retreats. Mariona gliding by Liotti. Cut in, cut out. Helped wide by Cerritos. Now Mariona. It's hit his hands. Handball, Portland will restart. The captain, Mikey Lopez, cues up his orchestra. 30 seconds left. Play is stopped. This should all be factored back in and added back after the 95th minute. Excruciating for AV Alta, though. Liotti gets the knock on. Desdoon. Alta on the edge, past the 95th minute. Got to get something in. They do. Quinones intervenes. Kamara, maybe a chance at a break. That's it! A rip-roaring 90 plus. Neither side come away happy. Portland will continue. Alta fall in the final flames. Their season ends. A spinning, hazy night here at Fitzpatrick on decision day.
And you see it right there with the reaction of the players for both these teams. They are exhausted physically, they are exhausted mentally, because this game challenged them in every way that matches present themselves, and both these teams up to the task.
Anguish. All the work, the full campaign transpires over the course of 90 minutes. In the end, play the match for Portland at this pivotal moment provided by Nathan Messer. And it comes here off the attempted bicycle kick. Messer catches up, knocks it home. It was 2-1 there. Portland unable to hang on in the end. This play of the match is presented by LL Bean. And for that reason, Nathan Messer is our Trellis man of the match. What a performance from both teams. All players exhausted, everything.
Along with that crushing goal right there, had the assist on the Wada finish as well, that short corner. What a performance from Nathan Messer, and what a performance by both these clubs.
Nothing to be ashamed of. AV Alta gave it everything. It just was not enough. We set to step aside. More to come on the other end of a break. 30 games for both these teams come to a head here in Maine. The final score is 2-2.
Partnership means a lot of things in this business, and that's the most important thing, is being in a business relationship with someone that you trust, and that's what Mimic does. We want to make sure that everyone is getting exactly what they need, and we want it to be a long-term relationship. At Mimic, we want to lower their total cost of risk, and we want to get those employees back to work whenever we can. At Mimic, we make workers' comp work better.
At PAPE, we've dedicated over 50 years to making sure you do better. That means better prices you can always count on. It means you'll find extensive inventory. It means you can expect top-notch service. And most of all, it means you'll work with a team that listens to what you need and makes it a priority. So why are we so driven to make sure you do better? Because at PAPE, the only thing we love more than cars is people.
A bitter pill for AV Alta on a night that, just at the end, did not go their way. The final score presented by Apres. It's 2-2. At the final tallying of things on what is a long, exhaustive campaign for both these teams.
Got a lot of the attack coming out of the left side with Messer and Ali Wright. Then the right side began to find a lot of success. See this attempt from Ali Wright, and Nathan Messer, knowing the space that he wanted to occupy, ball bounces out to him. No question about that strike left-footed. But then you get the foul here, and it concede another free kick. You think maybe this is another opportunity for Blancas. And that slight bit of doubt that maybe turns into certainty when he tucks this away for his second goal of the game. Just AV Alta unable to push for that third and get the 3 points that they needed. Shots 25-10 in favor of Portland Hearts of Pine, just unable to kind of stretch that lead.
Full-time stats are presented by Renewal by Anderson. What a game. What a game. It was end-to-end action in both boxes. AV Alta, confirmation, they are eliminated with the result. As it comes down, Portland remain in the 5 seed. They can fall further based on other results. It's not guaranteed that this will be their final home game. Anything can happen in a playoff format, but they will not host in the first round, as both Gabe Hoffman-Johnson and, of course, Bobby Murphy address the crowd that has filled their ears all year long. They're still partying in Portland's.
It's a special scene.
Take this all in. They celebrate the season that's come and gone for AV Alta. The end of the line arrives here in Maine. Final score, 2-2 on the night, presented by Apres. Postseason coming up next, but for now, for my partner Eric Dobransky and our entire wonderful casting crew, folks, I've been Peyton Geller. We will certainly talk to you soon. The playoffs up next in the USL.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.